Alright guys, welcome back. It's me, Christian. What we're going to go through today is a very interesting article I found online which can really enhance your general knowledge on relationships, whether you are a man or a woman watching. And yes, I will have it linked down in the description below so that you guys can take a look at it. The name of the article is Mistakes Women Make to Destroy Sexual Polarity with Men. I'm going to give it my review, my analysis, break the entire thing down. And as you see as I go through it, there will be a lot of wisdom and value that you can extract. Because whether you are a man or a woman, you must understand your own essence. If you're a man, how to be masculine, and a woman, know how to be feminine. When you see women and they move more into their masculine, or men that move more into their feminine, it's always going to destabilize sexual attraction, respect, and intimacy in relationships, which will ultimately lead to the failure of said relationship. Alright, so the article is written by a woman called Rennie Wade, and she runs this website which is called The Feminine Woman. And she dedicates herself to basically coach and educate women on how to develop and embrace their femininity, which I think is a very good thing to do to benefit relationships, because feminism has done so much harm to women, to relationships, to society, and women really need to go back to being feminine if they want a chance at getting a good, masculine, high quality man of value. Because a man of integrity that is masculine, he doesn't want a woman that's acting like a dude, a woman that's disrespectful, a woman that's going to treat him bad. A man that has got standards for himself is never going to settle for a woman that's masculine. Feminine traits, ladies, is how you keep a man. Let's start with the article. She says, I'm going to start with the definition of depolarization, which means to partially or completely eliminate or counteract the polarization of. Where on earth did this word come from, and what does it mean in the context of your relationship with men? Ladies, most men and women, regardless of what they're showing up as, have a sexual essence that is more typically associated with their gender. So most women will be feminine at their core, and most men will be masculine at their core. There are women who are more masculine at their core, she says, and there are men who are more feminine naturally at their core. I disagree. When you see a man that is more feminine naturally at his core, something went wrong in his upbringing, which I'll mention. Same thing for a woman, because that is unnatural. Even if it seems, to the natural eye, that organically that woman became masculine or that man became feminine, it is abnormal. Okay, it is not natural for a woman or a man to have the opposite essence. What do I say all the time? As a man, you want to be masculine 100% in the way you think, in the way you behave. You'll be much healthier mentally, you'll be much happier overall, because that's innate to you as a man. And for a woman, you want to be feminine, right? You start behaving like a man, you start going out there trying to compete with men, right? You reject your femininity, you're going to become not only very unattractive to the opposite sex, but you will be very miserable on the inside, because it's not natural for you to be that way. However, most men are more masculine and most women are more feminine. Absolutely. Frequently, what happens is that women in this modern day are more masculine now. I wonder why. And men are more feminine. Because of how society has changed throughout history, the roles of men and women have changed greatly. Our job here is to recognize this big change and the negative effects that it may have. Well, I wouldn't even say may have. The negative effects that it has on our relationships, and truly honor the differences between the sexes. So, before I carry on with the article, I would just like to mention, why is it that you would see some women that appear to be naturally more masculine? This goes back to her childhood, her upbringing, her environment. From an early age, when a woman grows up in a home and she isn't taught traditional conservative values, how to be feminine, she's going to default to what society teaches, which is feminism, that liberal leftist way of being that teaches women that they're just the same as men, that girl, you can go out and compete with a man, Go out, get your career, don't have kids, don't have a relationship. Go out there and ride the carousel. Then later when you're older, you can settle down and some high quality guy's going to be sitting there waiting for you. When women reject their femininity and they are taught that they should compete with men, that they should become masculine and go and seek out purpose, climb the corporate ladder, they reject their nurturing feminine side, their basic biology, which is physically designed to have children. A lot of women, fortunately, due to feminism, are taught that being feminine, that wanting a relationship, wanting a family, is wrong. But you should want exactly what men have. And the modern woman has gone out and gotten exactly what men have. And they're still miserable because it's unnatural for a woman to be masculine. It makes women very miserable. And feminism has done so much harm to the integrity of relationships. Okay, this means that a young girl growing up who's taught feminism, she rejects her femininity and she embraces what she sees as masculine. And that becomes her mindset, her way of thinking. So organically, it seems to be natural that she becomes masculine. So to anybody who gets to know that woman, you think, oh, she's just masculine. Well, yes, but that is not natural. That happened because she was taught to reject her femininity. And that's what feminism has done. So there is no such thing as a woman naturally being born masculine. Okay? And yes, there are also women that grew up in very rough, difficult environments where they had a weak or an abusive father and they didn't heal from that. So they put on a masculine mask to protect themselves from the outside world. Right? They become like very tough, very strong, emotionless and cold because their feminine side wasn't developed in their childhood. So they default to what is masculine as a means to feel safe and protect themselves from any harm that may come their way. And it's sad. But yeah, that's why you see some women that appear to be masculine, but it's completely unnatural. And on the flip side, when you hear someone say, oh, there are some men that are more feminine at their core, let me break it down. There is no such thing as a man truly being feminine at his core. That is a man that is misled. Let me break down some stats, which I have up on my phone. 43% of boys are raised by single mothers. 78% of teachers are female, school, university, college. Close to 50% of boys have a 100% feminine influence at home and an 80% feminine influence at school. Toxic masculinity isn't the problem, the lack of masculinity is. And especially when you see boys that grow up without a father figure, what happens? They're more depressed, they're more prone to drugs and alcohol. I mean, look at the stats on crime, murder and rape. How many of those men are fatherless? Most of them. A single mother cannot teach a boy how to be a man. A boy's rite of passage into manhood is only going to come from a male role model that's going to teach him proper discipline, principles, values, teaching him how to challenge himself, which is how you grow your masculine energy. All right. Only a man can teach a boy how to become masculine, how to develop it and grow it. And because most boys are raised in a feminine environment, that's the way they develop. That's the mindset that they grew up with. They don't know how to behave like a man. That's part of them is almost closed away and locked up inside of them. But it's inside of you. If you're watching this and you're a guy and you feel like you've been a little bit feminine, you have a more feminine way of thinking and of being, it's because of your upbringing and your environment. You were not raised around a strong man. In fact, everything in society, from movies to shows, they always treat men like they're idiots. You go back the last 5-10 years, there's very few men in entertainment, movies and shows and all the rest, where they portray the men to be strong, confident and masculine leaders. They're more submissive, subservient, insecure, interdependent, focused on their emotions. So guys see this and they think, that's just the way I should be. So if you see a man that seems to be that organically he developed his feminine side, it's because there was no masculine influence. So of course he was going to develop that. So yeah, there's no such thing as a man or a woman naturally developing the essence of the opposite sex. Now, when it does happen, it's because of the environment and a terrible upbringing. Let's carry on. Let me just confirm, I'm not encouraging manipulation. The entire site is about helping women become better women and to embrace more of who they are and bring out more of what they embody at their core. Good. That's how a woman should be, feminine. You know, I'm a masculine guy. I'm turned off by masculine men. It's unattractive. Masculine women, it's unattractive. Guys do not want women that act like dudes. It is the biggest turn off. And when you see men that behave masculine and women that behave feminine and they come together, that's when a relationship will be balanced because he's in the leadership role. She's happy to be interdependent, be submissive, and love and trust in his masculine core and feel safe and protected by him. And he will take care of her, honor her, love her, and all the rest. So there's that proper balance that comes into play. But when you have men and women, it's like, well, it's teamwork. That's the problem. The woman does not learn how to look up and admire her man. She treats him like she's an equal. So when he communicates to her that he does not like how he's being treated, she feels like, how dare he? Because we're the same. And that's what feminism has done. Women, they start thinking they're just like a man. And it just depolarizes the sexes. And it causes problems. And that's not how it should be. Sad. But we can still turn it around. Men should be masculine, women should be feminine. If individuals take the time to do the self-improvement and embrace that, society can turn out a little bit better in the next few generations to come. Fingers crossed. So, what mistakes are made by women, with men that cause depolarization? She says, the truth is, the vast majority of women are making huge and often somewhat irreversible mistakes with men. Men may not even know what on earth has caused them to feel sour towards the woman, as we are so out of touch with our personal identification of our sexual essence and at our core, that most men don't really know what is actually going on consciously, but they know that they don't want to be with that woman. So the relationship fails, or the marriage fails. Many relationships lack passion, depth, closeness, respect, and understanding and worship. She said, I'm aware that worship is a strong word, but wouldn't you like to be worshipped by your man? I'll talk more about worship in later posts. So yeah, women want to feel loved, men want to feel respected. Okay, and a lot of guys now, they're so hell-bent on, I want to feel loved by the woman. The way you feel and interpret love as a man is through respect. When she respects you, admires you, and makes you feel like the man in the relationship, and you feel that respect, that's how you feel love. And for a woman, when your man honors you, he makes time for you, he's masculine, he pays attention to you, he's faithful, and he treats you right, that's how you feel loved. That's what's important for a woman, guys, is to feel love. But for us men, it's respect, right? And it's so true that so many men and women are out of touch of their essence. So many guys are effeminate, they're in a relationship, and deep down, because they're masculine, they do things to turn the woman off. She's acting masculine, she does things to turn him off. So deep down, you know, something doesn't feel right with this girl. You ever been in one of those long-term relationships and you get complacent, you don't feel like making an effort anymore, and it just doesn't feel the same with her. It's because she's acting like a man, she's acting masculine. She's moving more into a masculine essence and out of a feminine, which then depolarizes you if you are not centered in your masculine core. So then, because you're unstable and you aren't truly masculine yet, you become feminine. So there's this, it's like a seesaw going up and down, right? She starts behaving masculine, causes you to behave feminine, which in turn turns her off, and so on and so forth, right? It's like a snowball effect. It gets worse and worse, and then the relationship ends. And that's why it's so important for you to be masculine, guys, and for her, ladies, be feminine. Okay, that's why you'll be with a woman, guys, and you think, I don't know why I'm just turned off by her. It's because of her behavior, her demeanor, the way she's showing up to the relationship. She's showing up like a masculine guy, and that will slowly turn you off at your core subconsciously. It's no different than a guy gets into a relationship with a woman, and you as the man You start becoming the one who's relationship focused. You've got a purpose in life, you give up your friends, your hobbies, and you completely focus on the woman. You make her the source of your happiness. And then what happens? She starts to get turned off. It's cute at the beginning. Oh, he's giving me all this attention. But then you're too available. You start to becoming weak and needy. You let her walk all over you. She starts to test you to see if you're confident. You start failing. You become relationship focused and feminine. So because she's turned off, she defaults to what is masculine, and which in turn will repulse you. You see, that's what happens. That's why it's so important to have this type of knowledge, because you can really avoid heartache in a relationship. Depolarization and sexual essence. One of the ways in which depolarization occurs is when the woman, or man, does things that take away from the other person's sexual essence. What I was just talking about. When you guys move into your feminine, become the one who's relationship focused and start acting like the woman in the relationship. That's how us men depolarize the sexual essence. But for women, it's acting like the man. That's always going to turn off a masculine guy. For example, one of the core differences between masculine and feminine is that men are driven by direction in life and women are driven by emotion. What have I said about 1 trillion times? Guys, you must have a life that's happy, whole and complete. You must have purpose outside of it. You must have a life. You must have a career or business that you are passionate about, right? You must have a mission. You must have direction in life. That's how you grow your masculinity, because ultimately that is masculine. Taking risks, being a leader, okay? Having your life together. That's how a man should be. Because your primary focus and your number one thing in life should be having a purpose that fulfills you, brings you joy, brings you happiness, adding value to other people's lives. That is what a man does. And if you don't have that, you're going to get into a relationship and you're going to make the woman your whole life. And before you know it, she's going to be turned off and she's going to leave. So that's very, very true. Men are driven by direction and women are driven by emotions. Women are feminine beings. They're run and driven by their feelings, their emotions, nurturing, connecting, opening up, feeling vulnerable. You having direction in life means you are independent. A woman having emotions meaning she's interdependent. Why is a woman interdependent, not independent? A woman is designed to bond with a man. When she has sex through intimacy in a relationship, which is why then women, they want to move closer to you, move in with you, have a family. That's part of her being feminine, because her emotions are designed for her to bond with you in such a way so that when she has a family, you have like a little nest egg, like a unit, right? When a woman is 7 months pregnant, she cannot survive on her own. She's going to waddle about, but a man needs to protect her, provide for her, care for her, keep her safe, because she can't do it on her own. Therefore, a woman at her core is always going to be interdependent on a masculine man for those needs, for safety, for security. She must rely on you as the man, not the other way. But what you guys do is, you're the one who relies on her for strength. Like a weak little cuck. Wrong. She should be relying on you for strength because you are the man. Because as a man, you're the one who's supposed to be independent. Men are the ones who go off to war. Okay, men handle conflict much differently than women because we are direct, we are more linear, we're right to the point. Women are multitaskers. Okay, women are emotional beings. Women handle things passively, coercively, right? Covertly, I should say. Women physically are the weaker sex and they have to look for means to protect themselves. And when they can't, they need the man to protect them. So a woman is always going to be interdependent of a man, of others to survive. That's just the way it is. But you as a man should always be independent. That's what masculinity is all about at the end of the day. So that's a very, very true statement. Men are driven by direction in life and women by their emotions. Women are all about connecting, bonding, opening up to receive love. Learn the differences, guys, because it will really help you in the long run. The next one, What not to do with men, ladies. She goes through a few different examples, which I found quite funny. Question whether he knows where he's going while striving, or getting frustrated that he appears lost, or getting angry at him for it, and even exclaiming that you're late because of him or rolling your eyes. This hurts a masculine man deeply. Yeah, men love to make their woman happy. And men need to feel successful, not only in their career, in their business, but in their relationship, in their friendships, with their family. Men are driven by and motivated by success, by achieving, breaking through barriers, improving, becoming a better man. So when a man is focused doing something such as driving, and a woman starts getting frustrated, rolling her eyes, what she's basically saying is, I don't trust you to get us from A to B. I don't trust you to get the job done, which is going to disrespect him. And if he feels like, my woman doesn't trust me and she does that enough times, he's done with you, ladies. Because he's going to think I'm doing everything I can to lead, and she's not trusting in my leadership. He's not going to want anything to do with you. And those times you want to be supportive and nurturing, not rolling your eyes and disrespecting him. It's very true. Suggesting you call a mechanic to help him with the car when he's diligently trying to fix it himself, or whatever he's doing. When a man is busy doing something, he doesn't want help unless he asks for it. And you saying to him, oh, I'll call a mechanic to get help, what you're basically communicating is, again, I don't trust you to get the job done. You're not a man. Somebody else will do it. So he's going to start to give up on the relationship. I feel like every time I'm doing something, she wants to take that control away from me. She takes that authority away from me, which is going to turn that masculine man off. Because as a woman, you should be submissive to your man. You should trust in him to get it done. You should encourage him to be the man instead of taking away from him being the man. A lot of women do that. But that's feminism for you. Feminism encourages girls to think like a man, behave like a man. Right? It does so much damage to relationships. That's not the way it should be. Men, we thrive on respect, on admiration, on a supportive woman that knows her place and just lets us be the man. We want a woman that's going to be our biggest cheerleader and number one fan, that looks up to us. That's going to make us feel like the man in the relationship. That's it. That's all a woman has to do. Suggesting he asks somebody for directions, another example. Yeah, unless he asks you, hey, can you help me ask for directions? Can you help me out? Don't offer it. Let him get it done. Ridiculing his goals and dreams. Oof, that's a big one. I mean, for me, that's a deal breaker. There's nothing worse than being with a woman that is laughing at your purpose in life, your path in life, your direction, your mission. Guys, if you are with a woman and she laughs at your career, your business, basically your life, just know that that woman does not respect or love you at all, and you rid yourself of her immediately. And if you stay with a woman like this, mark my words, you know exactly what's going to happen. You will slowly lose yourself in the relationship. You will become weak, because at that point you just let her walk all over you, and she knows you're weak because you stay with her. Right? So a woman that's ridiculing his goals and dreams, ladies, if you get upset and you're emotional and you're mad at your man, the worst thing you can do is say or do something like this, mocking something he's passionate about. You will lose that man's trust and love for you, and he'll be looking elsewhere. He'll have one foot out the door, considering whether he should stay or leave, and eventually he will dump you if you don't change that type of behavior. Not supporting him with his goals and dreams, that's another one. So it's a little bit similar. Instead of ridiculing him and outright mocking him, in this case, you're not laughing at them, at his goals, his mission, his objective in life. You're just not supporting him. You just don't care. And remember, men want a woman that's going to be supportive. A woman that's going to be by his side. So if he's working hard at his career and business and he wants to provide and take care of you, and he's doing the best he can as a man, and you don't support him, that can demoralize him. He might think, I don't want anything to do with this woman because she doesn't really care about me. If she did, she'd support me through anything that I'm dealing with, anything that I'm working on. You know, us men, we have that pride where we want to feel like, look at us, look how successful I am, look how happy I am, look what I'm achieving, look what I'm doing. And we want our woman to notice that. We want the woman to feel like, wow, I'm with a guy and he's got these amazing goals, he's got an amazing dream. We want a woman that's proud of us. And there's nothing worse than being with a woman that's just, she doesn't care about what's important to us. That's a mistake you don't want to make, ladies. Always support him. And if you disagree with his goals and dreams, there's a very high chance that you're incompatible with that man. Because if you had the same outlook on life, the same principles and values, his dreams, his goals would be aligned with that mindset, with the same principles and standards and values that you both share. So if you feel like you're incompatible with a guy, you don't have to not support him or ridicule him. Just say, look, I just think we're incompatible and we should break up. And you don't even know why. Because that man, at least, deserves to be with a woman that does support his dreams, that does support his goals. Instead of having a woman that's going to sit there by the side and not support him. Mentioning his failures to get that job, get that raise, get that promotion, or get that degree. Yeah, that's a big deal breaker. Men need to feel successful in different areas in life. Okay? Part of masculine essence. So when you tell him that he's a failure, he's not going to get that promotion, his business is going to fail, he shouldn't start that career because he sucks at it or he's going to suck at it. What you're basically telling him is, you're not good enough, you're not a man, you're not worthy. You're a loser. And what self-respecting man is going to keep a woman in his life that thinks he's worthless? Low value, low self-esteem men. But a guy with a high self-esteem who respects himself, he's going to flick you to the side of the road and you can say goodbye to him. Good luck trying to apologize to a man after you push him away at mentioning his failures. Unless you're having a conversation with a man, ladies, and you're talking about a way he could improve and about his past experiences and encouraging him and supporting and nurturing him to be a better man, you don't need to mention his failures. Because when you start ridiculing and laughing and mocking him, he's not going to trust you. He's not going to be comfortable to make an effort with you anymore. The intimacy will fade, the passion will fade, and he'll eventually leave. The next one, she said, making him wrong, telling him how his ideas or opinion is wrong. If you really think, ladies, that a man's opinion is incorrect, you communicate that in a calm, soft, feminine, loving way. And you talk about it. Because men are rational. Men like to discuss things that are important to them. But when you flat out start getting rude and you just say, nah, you're wrong, you know, what you believe on this is stupid, and you start undermining or undervaluing his opinion by attacking him emotionally instead of giving him constructive criticism, yeah, he's going to associate that with you disrespecting him, and he's going to think that you don't care about him, that you don't love him and look up to him. So his attraction for you will drop over time. So with any of these things, if you do this enough times consistently, even the weakest of men, either the guy's going to end up dumping you, ladies, or you will be repulsed by him so much that you'll dump him. But, you know, if the guy has enough balls, he will dump you before it gets to the point where your attraction is that low. More on polarity in relationships. She said, I think we've all made a couple of the above mistakes, if not all. The problem with doing the things I mentioned above, and there are many more examples of ways that women destroy the polarity in relationship with the man, is that the woman has just destroyed the polarity between her and her man. Polarity is the quality of opposites, opposing energies. in your relationship. Polarity is essential, important. It is the essential, important ingredient to have in your relationship if you want it to last, and last with passion, love, commitment, and desire. She said, one quick way to rectify the situation is to say, oh yes, you are right about that. How come I didn't think of that? But she also says, you don't want to be insincere. However, if he does have a point, at least acknowledge this to him and maybe ask him for more of an explanation. Exactly. Just what I was saying. You talk to him in a calm, respectful manner, in a loving way, straightforward, because remember, women, their communication, they use innuendos and different examples. Men are direct and right to the point. You have to say 1, 2, 3, left, right, up, down. Clear directions. That's the way us men are. So even when you can communicate with him, be straightforward. Don't try and give him some type of hieroglyph or some type of, hidden formula he needs to unravel to understand what you're trying to tell him. Be direct. He will appreciate that much more. So if he does have a point, at least acknowledge it. Acknowledge this to him. Maybe ask him for more of an explanation. I agree. You'll find it much easier to connect with him rather than ending up in a painful argument that doesn't serve either of you. Absolutely. Yeah, if the guy's in the wrong, you can tell him, hey, I disagree with you. I don't really think that's the right thing. But you say that in a calm, loving way. When you start saying to a guy, yeah, you're wrong, you're stupid, and you start getting emotional and disrespecting him, he'll put up with that a few times. But if you do it enough times, his attraction for you will drop. And it's very true. Feminine sexual core and masculine sexual core. As his woman, the worst thing you can do is somehow imply that he's wrong. A fast way to build up resentment in a man who has a masculine sexual essence is to tell him he's wrong. Reverse the situation, and a fast way to build resentment in a woman with a feminine sexual essence is to tell her she's ugly. Also, if by any chance another woman somehow gives your man reason to think he's right and to feel more of a man, he'll start associating more positively with her instead. This is what happens when you do not fill your man up or meet his needs. That does happen in some cases. Yeah, guys, you don't ever want to tell a woman she's ugly. This will happen a lot of times. You're in an LTR, 1 year in, 2 years in, 3, 4, 5 years in, and your woman stops putting on makeup. She stops looking pretty when she's around you, right? She kind of puts on weight, gets out of shape. That's going to make you less attracted to her, and she's going to feel that. But you don't need to tell her, hey, you're getting fat, you're getting ugly. It's going to really hurt her deeply because she wants to look beautiful for you, even if she's got complacent. But how you bring it out of her is you encourage her and you motivate her to take care of herself. Feminine energy grows through praise. But when you insult her and break her down emotionally, it will tear down her femininity. So if you start to see that your woman's putting on weight, start encouraging her to go to the gym with you by being the man, and listen to this, be the leader and go to the gym and bring her with you. Start making healthier meals together. You lead the interaction, because being a leader means to go first, and you take those first few steps where she sees, oh, he wants to be healthy. But in the process, you'll get into better shape if you not already are, and so will she. And then because you're actually acting like the masculine guy in the relationship, taking control of the situation, she'll be more feminine, she'll be more open to you, be more submissive, and she'll get in better shape. And you'll be more attracted to her as a result, without you having to be a jerk and tell her she looks ugly. That's a very true statement. And for ladies, telling a man he's wrong, if you always make him feel wrong when his intention is to be a good man for you, eventually he's going to stop trying, because he's going to think everything that I say or do ends with her not following my lead. Even if you see that your man isn't acting as masculine as he should be, maybe going through something, the best thing you can do is build up his masculinity by respecting him, by admiring him, by encouraging him to pursue his goals, his purpose, his mission, because that will motivate him. When he sees that his woman is his biggest cheerleader, she wants him to do the best, that she believes in him, she believes in him, that's going to encourage him to step up and be a man. Because if he's making wrong decisions and you know it's incorrect, breaking him down, just saying he's wrong and insulting him isn't going to help. Build up his masculinity by being a nurturing, feminine woman, because that's how you keep a man. And the final thing, a woman's support and admiration of her man. What have I been saying throughout this video? Men want to feel like they're admired, looked up to and respected by their woman. To succeed with a man or a man, you must learn to be the woman he can count on for support. The woman who gives him reasons to feel like he's a man when external things are pulling him down. You must be the internal link to his core sense of masculine identity. You must have the quality and understanding of femininity as well, and the distinction between the sexual energy of the sexes. If you look up to him and admire him and truly believe in him, what a quinkydink. What did I just say? Ladies, believe in him. When you believe in him, it's going to be hard for him to find another woman to take your place. Yeah, because he feels like, she looks up to me, she respects me. That's going to motivate him and make him feel like the man. That's why when a man and a woman come together, guys, you can do a lot to make her more feminine by you being masculine and stepping up. And she can do so much to make you feel masculine if she stays feminine. That's how it works so well. That's why it's called sexual polarity. It's essential. As she said earlier, it's one of the ingredients that is necessary for long-lasting passion. So true. Often what happens in relationships is that the woman is so unaware of this that she destroys not only the polarity and the core sexual energy between them, and therefore the passion, and that she slowly but surely destroys his masculinity and his sense of identity. He will lose hope. And you will start to lose respect for him. What do I say all the time? Women do not respect weak men. Women do not respect effeminate, insecure, soft, weak men. You will start to lose respect for him. Because men who have lost hope or lost the fight in them often let women walk all over them. Guys, it happened to you. It happened to me in the past. Let's face it. No woman truly respects a man that lets her walk all over him. So she's got some good facts. Most, if not all, women want to be led and taken care of by their man. Something I say a lot in my videos. Guys, be the leader. Lots of women are actually digging their own grave and don't really understand why. So that's the end of the article. And I think it's quite educational. Just remember, just how I said earlier at the beginning when I gave that explanation. If you are a man and you feel like you have some feminine traits, some feminine ways of being, you need to detoxify and get that out of your system by embracing your masculinity, doing difficult things, increasing your testosterone, working out, eating healthy, developing your principles, having a healthy understanding of your manhood and masculinity. Because if you do not become a masculine man internally, it will affect every area of your life. Your friends won't respect you, the women you date won't respect you. Even in the workplace, whether you have your own business, you're the boss, or you're a co-worker, you're going to get no respect, no admiration from anyone. And worst of all, you won't respect yourself. You will become weak. You'll pick up that bottle and start drinking. You'll start smoking. You'll start watching porn. You'll settle in toxic relationships. You'll stay with people that don't love and respect you. You will be too afraid to start that business, too afraid to scale that career, because you become feminine instead of masculine. And it will damage you and it will kill you, because you are not meant to be feminine. You are meant to be masculine. And ladies, put away the feminism, start embracing your femininity, identify more with the feminine, become more nurturing and caring. Because if you want that handsome, confident, successful guy with strong principles who's masculine to even give you a shot, if you do not have feminine traits, he's not going to want anything to do with you. What you would be surprised how happy you will make a man, how much value you will add to his life when you become feminine. When you know your place as a woman and you treat him like a man, respect him, look up to him, you believe in him, you support his goals and his dreams. When you focus on the relationship and you nurture him, and you encourage him to be a man and go after his goals and his purpose, because he'll never forget, because men tend to have a good heart, unless the guy's narcissistic. When he becomes successful and his career in business starts to take off, he'll never forget that you always pushed and motivated him to be the best version of himself. And he will always want to love you and protect you for being by his side. Relationships can really turn out to be far healthier and much better for everyone if men focus on being masculine and women go back to being feminine. Those are some of the changes that have to be made in society. And you can't point the finger and blame, oh, I want that person to change, I want that person to improve. Start with yourself. Be the change, be the difference. And then if you're a guy and you become masculine, you can encourage and motivate other men that you know to be masculine. If you're a woman and you are feminine, you can teach other women that you know to embrace their femininity, because they'll see how happy, how graceful and ladylike that you are. Because if you don't stay in your own lane, ladies be feminine, men be masculine, there'll be problems in relationships. And the divorce rate will get higher. There'll be high spikes of infidelity and promiscuity in society. And those things aren't going very well. But they can change if individuals take accountability and responsibility for their own life and make improvements for themselves. All right, that's the video for today. Hope you all enjoyed it. The article will be down in the description below. Guys, if you want to get in touch with me, shoot me an email, which is always in the description. I do get back to everyone, whether you want coaching, whether you want to share your situation with me privately, or would like to use it on a video, reach out to me. I'm always at your service. The best way you can support the channel is encouraging your buddies, your friends to check out my content, tell them to subscribe. That way, more men and women can learn the things that I teach and unlearn all the toxic stuff they've been taught and relearn how to properly have a relationship and have a much more healthier and truthful understanding of men and women. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.